Welcome to our channel. We don't even have a name yet, so we need to discuss this, lads, at some point. So quick introduction. My name is Frank, or Francis. I live in Bournemouth. I'm a Bournemouth fan, and it's as simple as that.
My name's Jack, Jack or Jack. I'm a Plymouth fan. Follow football all my life. Interests and opinions about different matters around the game.
All right. I'm Miles. Miles by day, Milo by night. Liverpool fan and kind of a bit Bournemouth fan because I'm from Bournemouth as well.
Yeah.
That's it really. I'm just gonna try and chip in where I can with probably incorrect facts.
Cool. And also, just wanna state that this is not just a footy channel.
Some really serious stuff.
So yeah, basically, I think we should start off the conversation with just talking about last night's games. Southampton lost 9-0 to Manchester United,
but they seem to get just like robbed once a season. Even though they're a half decent club, did they get beaten hard the season before last? I feel like they got beat like 5-0.
I don't know.
6-0.
What an irregular.
I feel like every now and again they just get, because the season before last, I feel like they were in a relegation battle.
Yeah, they come right out of that. They got humped by Leicester, didn't they?
That was it.
And then all of a sudden just rocketed on. But I think they had a few injury problems last night, of what I've heard. And I got a quick look at the team sheet this morning of what actually went on, and there was a few kind of fringe players playing. So I mean, it's a bit strange. I mean, how can you go and beat? Who did they beat the other week? They beat someone 1-0 about two. Liverpool. Yeah,
they beat Liverpool. Yeah,
they beat Liverpool. Yeah. They beat Liverpool, and then they lose 9-0.
That was their last win.
Yeah,
but I mean that shows they're half decent side. And kind of on the comment of, well, they play some fringe players. I mean, Liverpool have been playing with fringe players all bloody season because they got so many. Like they got Nathaniel Phillips playing tonight. Yeah, who I'm sure means well, but he's not good enough to be playing for Liverpool.
Oh, remember that one. Save that one in a few years.
Yeah, the fact is recorded. So,
I mean, yeah. I look. They had one sent off early, didn't they? For an absolutely horrendous challenge. I don't know if you've seen it, but
yeah.
And then once you get one sent off against Liverpool after 2 minutes, it's downhill from there. I mean, in the job that I do, I've had two people come to me today and say, "Don't you dare talk about Southampton." One of the people I spoke to today actually works for Southampton on their coaching staff, and I had to speak to him for 20 minutes or so without mentioning Southampton and the result at all, which was interesting. But he's a really nice guy, so it's all right. It was kind of like the elephant in the room that no one dared to mention. But I'm sure they've actually got a pretty good team. David Hasselhoff, their manager, I'm sure that's his name. He's done some good stuff, and it looks like before this result, they were really getting some, gaining a little bit of traction. But it's a not anomaly.
It's weird because I still think they'll do well. So it just makes no sense. It's
at home as well. Always was it last night at home? The Leicester one was at home. I remember the Leicester one.
Last night was at Old Trafford, by the way.
Well, was it Old Trafford? Oh, fair enough. And Man United are great at the moment. They look like they've really gelled. And
they're equal with City now. Well, actually, no, City will have gone ahead now. City had 2 games in hand.
And then, obviously, we were talking about the red card for Southampton, but there's quite a few red cards knocking about last night. 2 of them being in Arsenal. For a start, I know, Jack, you've not seen it yet.
No.
But me and Miles watched it on like super slow motion replay today, and we're in a bit of a disagreement of this red card. I don't think that David Luiz even touched him.
He did touch him.
I don't know.
He did touch him. He did.
There's no movement.
He touched him in the Jack. Watch. Are you watching it now?
No, I'm just reading a little bit up on it.
Get it up and watch it while me and Frank discuss it, because you got to see this to weigh in. But he touched him. Whether or not it was deliberate and whether it was malicious is a different discussion. I think it probably wasn't, but they touched. And if you look, the player's heel hits David Luiz's knee as he's running in, and obviously trips him, and then he makes the most of it and goes down, as any striker should and would. Mm-hmm. I think it was a penalty, because even if it was accidental, you've brought someone down in the box. You've made contact with them. They're down. I don't think it was a red. I think a red is a bit harsh. But I think it's got to be a pen.
the halftime referee that does his little analysis and talks about the decisions that are made, he said that as it was accidental, it was a red card. But if he actually went for it and tried to swipe him out, then it would have been a yellow.
I'm just watching it now. I've watched
stupid.
It's just so
that makes no
dumb.
sense.
It's just so dumb.
I've just watched half an hour, 30 minutes of 30 seconds of adverts about cars, so I'm about ready. So he's gone down. Oh, I would just like to add that I think David Luiz is one of the most overrated players. Honestly,
just
look at the man. So he's miles behind him. Why put yourself in that position? Why run directly behind him? I mean, how many times does he get sent off? I mean, you're only going to get a lot of time red cards are because you're under pressure and you're out of place and you're committing that foul because you're in the wrong position. I mean, so many times I watched Arsenal in the past and even Brazil. I mean, the one that obviously comes to mind with everybody is that semi-final where I think he was a captain. He was awful. He was all over the place. And I just don't understand why, Arsenal bought him, like PSG bought him. He's shocking. And I mean, if he's touched him, if he hasn't touched him, why is he running behind him? Why has he got himself in that position? And he's lost the game for Arsenal.
So this is why, Frank, I was arguing that I think this does need to be a red card, because whether it was intended or not, I think football players in the Premier League are playing at such a level that if this was allowed and they went, it was just an accident, then you could always run really close behind somebody and kind of hope for an accidental clip and bring them down and then be like, it was an accident. So I kind of think they need to just set the line of just like, sorry, whether you meant it or not, you touched them and you brought them down in the box.
The only thing is the double jeopardy thing. I don't know if it's true, but I thought it was a position where you couldn't concede a penalty and get a red card. But maybe that was different because he was last man or something like that. I mean, I'd like to kind of hear anybody else's kind of opinion on this because the rules like bang on. But I'm sure this was a point. And also, if what people's thoughts are if this was a penalty or not. I mean, I think it was. He's caught him. He's gone down. But should he have been sent off as well? I don't know.
I'm just searching double jeopardy rule.
And then later on in the game, whilst you're there, Jack, have a look at
go watch more car adverts first. Okay.
Have a look at Leno.
Leno sent it off.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
It's so bad.
This was quite late on, wasn't it?
It's so bad. Yeah, it was like 60, 70 minutes around that time. But yeah, he just runs out of the box and just like uses his arm to flick the ball out.
I'm on football.london and it's talking about the double jeopardy rule. Doesn't really explain what it is, but it just says plenty suggested that the double jeopardy rule should have been in effect, resulting in a penalty but not a red card for Arsenal's experienced defender. However, this is not the case as it only applies to accidental challenges.
Right,
which the rule states is a yellow card, while this is obvious that David Luiz knew exactly what he was doing. So this website reckons that was it. He knew damn well what he's doing. He thought, I'll run behind him, I'll get a tangle of legs and I'll bring the guy down. Okay.
That's the question then, isn't it? It's if he meant to do it or not. I don't think you would... I mean, I know I slate David Luiz, but really take someone down in the penalty area when he's the last man on purpose. I don't know. It's a pretty fucking stupid decision.
You're rolling the dice, aren't you? I mean, you're leaving it to fate of whether or not the keeper can save a penalty rather than just him definitely getting it. Are you watching the Leno save?
Yeah, no, I just watched the Saka opportunity at the start.
Oh, right. Yeah, that is insane. Yeah. That kid is on fire.
Right, long ball from Wolves. He comes out. Oh, Jesus Christ, what's he doing? Is that needed? Like, I don't know why.
It's the way he kind of slaps it. He comes out and he sort of does that, doesn't he?
Pushes that out of his arm.
Yeah.
Let's have a look again.
It's so Stonewall. It's just like,
what's he doing?
Bother.
Unbelievable. I mean, they haven't got any other decent keepers. I mean, the other keeper that I know on their books, they've got the Runarsson guy I don't know too much about, but they had a guy called Matt Macy who was on loan at Plymouth a couple of years ago, and he wasn't the best at decision making, I'm not going to lie. He's a good shot stopper, big guy, but I mean, he's been on the bench and I've been waiting for him to to come on just to see what he's like in the Premier League, because he certainly didn't really cut the mustard in League Two. But hopefully, this guy's improved and learned a bit. Still young keepers going out on loan, but
they got rid of Martinez, didn't they? So
yeah,
Martinez.
He's kept like 8 clean sheets in a row this season or something. He's on fire for Villa.
Yeah, he's really good. Villa's been all right this season, considering they escaped relegation on points against Bournemouth.
Yeah, I mean, they got Super Jack, haven't they, in midfield? He just seems to run everything and do everything at the moment. They've just signed a lad on loan. They've got a couple of good strikers. They got that Watkins, who from Brentford.
He's decent.
And they signed, it was West Ham who signed the other lad from Brentford. Berra. Oh God, I don't know his name, but he's a decent player. But Watkins is one for the future, I think.
Yeah, I like him.
So, do you think that Jack should stay there?
Yeah, why not?
Because big clubs want him. If you were him, would you stay? Is kind of the question. Would you rather be a club legend at, I don't know if they're going to do any better, but I feel like they're at their heights at the moment for at least a while.
Yeah.
Or would you just go to United? Or Spurs or whoever wants him and just get paid 3 times as much, play for the big club, but be a bit of a bench warmer and a bit of a super sub.
Well, the last kind of player I think obviously is Mark Noble, who stayed at West Ham all his career, and he's missed the West Ham. You don't see it. You've had obviously Jamie Carragher, but he was playing at the top level, and Neville and Gerrard. But it's nice to see it. And also, apart from playing at the moment in the Champions League away to a team in Bulgaria or something in front of 0 people in a 20,000 seat stadium, he's getting into the England team. He's doing well. He's scoring goals. He's playing the best he's ever played. Why would you? They're obviously going to offer him a good contract at Villa, which they have done. What more are you going to get from going to United? Yeah. Silverware, maybe?
You'll get silverware and you'll get more money. So you become a global name if you go to somewhere like United. And I feel like United falls into one of those clubs that's just one of those clubs, like Barca and Real. It's one of those clubs that...
And Plymouth,
and the Argyle, of course.
Yeah.
One of those clubs that if the letter comes through the door saying we want you, then you go. Because I always respect Coutinho when he left Liverpool for an obscene amount of money. He sent some message to all the Liverpool fans just saying, I'm sorry, but it's Barca. Come on. And I always respect him for that, because I thought, yeah, fair enough. Even though Liverpool's better than Barca now, but hey. And he never really settled there.
I think we all like that story of, a player staying at their local club and seeing it throughout their career.
Well, you don't see it anymore. You just don't see it anymore.
Yeah, but it's brilliant. It's old school. It's nice. It's heartwarming. I enjoy it. I enjoy that, and I hope that Grealish does stick about.
It happens a little bit more in the lower leagues, I feel, because you're but as soon as you get that opportunity in a Premier lower kind of tier Premier League club, and you get, like Miles says, the lights of the Man United, the Liverpool, Chelsea's, you just go, wow, I want to take the money and have a go at it, And I wouldn't blame people for it either.
To be fair to him, he stuck with them when they were in the Championship.
Yeah,
that's admirable to stay with them as they go down.
Yeah.
Right. Change of subject quickly. AFCB have tweeted confirmation that Jonathan Woodgate will take temporary charge of the first team AFCB. It's temporary, and they said that he's appointed as they do the interview process for a new manager.
So while they chat to Lampard,
whilst they talk to Lampard,
I've heard it's going to be someone external. A couple of sources, people on Twitter have just said, it's definitely going to be someone external. So he is just the interim manager.
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
Judging by his management record, I think that's probably a decent choice. It hasn't been great, and I know a few middle that weren't too happy about him when he played for when he managed them. But it looks like Lampard, doesn't it? It looks like Lampard. I don't think Eddie Howe's coming back. He's going to be going off to Celtic, I expect, at the end of the season. Who else is in the hat, really?
I don't want it to be Eddie Howe. I was chatting to a mate today saying, Eddie Howe coming back, it's like your ex-girlfriend who you had a fantastic time with at the time. And, it was great. You loved them more than anything in the world. But you've broken up now. Stop going for a coffee with her. Move on.
We've done it.
It's like don't get Eddie Howe back. I think, and I love the guy, and I love what he did for Bournemouth, but don't bring him back.
Yeah.
Problem is, I also don't want Frank.
See, I'm happy for Frank. I think he could be good. I know, like, he had a really bad last part of Chelsea.
Yeah.
But I think in the Championship, he could find himself like quite comfortable, and hopefully do the job, which is to promote us, to get us.
Well,
back
he knows
into
it, doesn't he? Because of Derby.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I'm just trying to find the odds to see who's favourite.
Go to Sack. Oh, what's the website called? It's like the Sack
Yeah,
Race.
you sent it last time. Yeah, no, Sack Race. That's it.
The Sack Race. Yeah, I've got it. Hang on.
So last time I checked, Woodward was top, and then Lampard was second.
It's changed now. John Terry's favourite.
Yeah, John Terry's number one.
Wow.
John
I think Terry's the only person
Lampard.
I hate more than Lampard.
I tell you what, you've got. So it's Terry, then Frank at 6s. We'll get it 8. Paul Cook. Oh, jeez. He used to be Pompey manager. Like, I can't stand the man. Like, I think there's the little bit of rivalry coming from Portsmouth Alf, but he's just plays horrible football. Eddie Howe 20s. Danny Cowley. He was at Huddersfield. Did well with Lincoln, I think. Pulis. He was at Bournemouth previously, and he was at Plymouth. I don't know what type of football he plays. Bilic. Yeah, might be all right. He's had to get out the champion. Djukanovic, I think he's the guy at Watford. He's at 25s. And finally, David Wagner, who was the assistant for Klopp at Borussia Dortmund, and was on his coaching staff and guided Huddersfield down out of the Premier League. So, really, it's not a lot of choice there.
Yeah, I don't like what you said. I'd rather Lampard than Terry, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm literally just judging that on my liking of either person.
Yeah, I don't like Terry, the things.
But he's only been an assistant, right? He's never managed. He's just been an assistant at Villa.
Villa.
Is it Villa?
Yeah. Villa, yeah, I think so, at Villa. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I would say Bilic might be all right. Might get him up.
The $1 million question, are Bournemouth going up this season?
No, I think
don't fancy their chances.
If they didn't go this season, they'll go into mid-table obscurity in the Championship, I think. Unfortunately, I'd like to see them go up. But
yeah.
They'd have to have a hell of a run, wouldn't they? In the second half of the season, because the people on top are really smashing it. I think if you offered a Bournemouth fan 6th place today, at the end of the season, they'd rip your hand off the way they've been playing.
Mate, yes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they would at the moment to get in the playoffs. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm a little bit surprised. Like, I know he's done really bad, but you let a manager go through the whole transfer window, make all the signings he wants, and then the first day out of the transfer window, he loses, and then they say, right, sorry, mate, on your bike. Cheers for 22 years at the club. Here's your 6 months. Here's your P, whatever you call it.
P45.
Yeah, P45.
Here's your P45. And apparently they just called him up and just said, sorry, mate, get your stuff on your bike, son.
Don't come in on Monday.
Don't come in on Monday, poor bugger. But I just don't understand why you let him go through the window.
Process, yeah.
And then he signed this bloke from Preston, this Pearson guy. He's had one day at the club, and then all of a sudden the new manager might go, nah, I'm all right, mate. He's just signed a 3-year deal. And what'd you do? Shane Long has just come in. New manager might go, nah, he's past it now. Don't fancy it. And what manager?
Shane Long's on loan, right?
Yeah, but what manager is going to want to? He's got to inherit a new squad without being able to buy any players because the transfer window's finished. So he's got to make the best out of this squad. So already he's starting on the back foot with the expectancy of Bournemouth to go up. Who wants it? Who would want that?
But yeah, scary. Crazy.
We were literally just. I feel like it was only a few weeks ago that we were talking about how ridiculously close the top is. We're going, oh, it's so close. Like, there's only a point or two in it to get the top 2. And now we're saying there's only a point or 2 in it to stay in the playoffs.
Christmas period's so big. It's so congested. And especially this year, everyone's playing, this week everybody's playing Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesdays. You go on a run of games of 5 and lose them all, you're out of it, I think for what it's worth, I think I would love to see Brentford go up. The way they run their club's fantastic. They've been up there every year. They use a really strange scouting model as well, where they kind of just buy all their players on stats. So if they think they look at the stats, find their player, and instead of going and watching him, they work a player around their stats and work out who they need to bring in. But I'd like to see them go up. That'd be great, as well as Bournemouth, obviously.
Any other football news knocking about? How's the Argyle doing?
All right, we've started to pick up now. I think if anybody out there is a keen bettor, Argyle to reach playoffs. I can feel us going on a little bit of a run now. Run. We signed a bloke from Wolves, striker called Noel Ennis. Came on as a substitute, scored straight away. We got the top goal scorer in the league, Luke Jepcott, where you get some good odds on Argyle to go up, I think. And I think it's not a bad bet with 6 points out.
Have you put money on it? Have you put money on it, Jack?
I'm going to.
Yeah. To be fair, you had a decent bet, didn't you, of Argyle to go up and Southampton to go down a few seasons ago. Neither came in, but you had a cash out point of like 20 grand or something. They were offering you an obscene amount of money to get out of it.
It wasn't quite that much. I think it was a couple of grand. I cashed out for 2 grand, but at the time Plymouth were 23rd. And I went and watched them against Shrewsbury, and we've been awful all year. And Graham Carey scored this goal, and it just erupted the fans, and just felt like a whole weight was off their shoulders. So I put it on. Then 23rd, right. Southampton had a bad run, and all of a sudden they start to Southampton are going there, and Bournemouth going, and Plymouth going there, and I'm like, shit, So then you had to cash out for a couple of grand, but we still win. We still didn't get promoted, but.
You made a couple grand off a bet that never came in. Like, what's not to like?
Yeah, so maybe my advice about Argyle is decent advice.
Yeah. Maybe that was why I said it, mate. I just wanted to give you a bit of credibility there for anyone who wasn't backing you.
This could be a tipster channel.
Yeah. We're going to have a little disclaimer at the end being like, don't take our advice, please.
Yeah, buy GME stock.
Yeah, right.
Have you heard much about the GME stock, Jack?
No, I haven't actually. Can you give me kind of a rundown of someone briefly describe what happened, but.
All right, GameStop, GME. Do you know what GameStop is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a store in America. You have to trade in games, like physical games. You get money back. You can buy games with it. The whole business model is based around physical games. No one buys physical games anymore. Mm-hmm. So Wall Street was shorting it.
So they were shorting it,
to drop, and they were going to make loads of money. For some reason, Reddit, particularly Wall Street Bets, decided, fuck these guys. We're just gonna lose them loads of money and maybe make money ourselves. So they all bought GameStop stock, like bought it just in the millions, to push up the value of it, because as people are buying it, it becomes more sought after, so it goes up and up and up and up, and it went up something like 30,000%, or just like an insane amount of money. Like someone put in 50 grand and it's now worth like 25 million, or just loads of money. And Wall Street was hemorrhaging literal billions of dollars, and a bunch of hedge funds went under, and it all just went to shit. But they're all saying we should hold, because the longer they hold, the more money Wall Street loses. But everybody now is like, screw it, I'm taking my money and getting out. Me and Frank had some, we got out.
As well. They're cash out fast.
Yeah, and it's gone in 2 days, it's gone from 400 to like 70.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I think the market closed at 70.
Plummeted. So basically, don't buy that. Buy Bitcoin. That's going up. I've just checked it again. It's still going up. Huh? Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's going up like madness.
She's growing. It's growing.
Nice.
Cool. Guys, I think that's it. I think
that's a week's news.
Done. So yeah, guys, if you are watching, do the classics. Hit sub. We got no subscribers as it stands, so just want to be nice. Hit like.
Be the first.
Hit like. Send us a little comment. Give us some ideas going forward. But yeah, do you want to sign off, boys? Any last words?
Up the Argyle.
Up the Argyle.
I'll second that. Up the Argyle.
Yeah, up the
Come
Argyle.
on, boys.
Get them up in the Championship. Argyle Bournemouth next year.
That's where we belong. Come on.
Come on.